Hello my friends all over the world, wherever you are. William Poloniak here from Whole Health Foundation. In this video I'm going to be making some juice on my new Whole Health Foundation Premium Juicer. And today's formula is going to be what I picked from my garden, some wild dandelion greens that my wife picked for me, and about 80% carrots. Let's go to that video clip. Here are my ingredients for today's juice. A little bit of kale, some dandelion greens that my wife picked for me from my organic garden, a half of a beet. I thought I had a whole beet, but this will have to do. 5 garlic cloves, 2 zucchinis, and 2 crooked neck squashes picked from my garden. And over here I have about, I'd say 80% carrots by weight. I always start my juice with 3 or 4 ice cubes. Really not necessary to go more than 3. So what I'm going to do is catch the ice shavings down here and recycle it, because for the first beginning of the juice I just want to cool the cutter. So I'm going to start with greens. Start with some kale and 1 leaf of romaine lettuce that somebody left behind. Crooked neck squash. Zucchini. I'm going to continue with the dandelion greens, constantly monitoring the temperature. Now I want to point one thing out. You need not worry about pushing your fingers down the feed tube, because the people that make the feed tube and the ones we're having made have a longer neck, and you could never reach down to the cutter, so you'll be totally safe and you need not worry. The last of my greens and a little bit of garlic. We're up to 27, so it's time for 3 more ice cubes. So what I'm going to do is take my grid holder out, clean the grid, and start on my carrots. And then I'm going to mix the juice ingredients and start pressing. Now, it's a good idea to feed in the large end of the carrot first, but if you've got small carrots like I do, you can reverse them and get 2 in at a time. Saves a little time that way. Is every time it reaches 20, 3 ice cubes. I do want to point out one thing that I do to prepare the juicer is clean the back. There's always a little bit of pulp back here. And I have a spray nozzle, but you could use a wet rag or sponge to clean it. So my method is always to clean everything first. Reassemble it, put the grid slide back in with the grid, put the cutter on top with the hole down because you want everything to drain, and I'm going to pull out a container to catch the juice. And now we're going to mix the produce. And what I usually do is mix going in both directions. First I'll spin the bowl clockwise and then counterclockwise. You get a really good mix that way. I want to mix all the carrots, and for some reason, if you have carrots in your mix, your greens will not stick to your cloth. Now I've just taken my claws out of the freezer. I let them thaw a little bit while I was juicing, but you want to pull them apart. I have 6 cloths for what I call my 6-cloth method. And there's my last cloth. Unfold it, and I have 6 cloths here. And what I'm going to do is put them in my folding bowl, my folding container. I'm going to pull it so that the cloths are overhanging and not touching the countertop. Anything touching the counter, you never know how clean or dirty your counter is. So let's start making juice. I have the tray up here, we'll put that in place. And 3 medium spoons of pulp. Fold this over. Now watch this technique. You flatten it down, you pull this into as tight a package as you can, flatten it down, a little crease back here, a little crease there, tuck this under. Notice I'm folding it as I tuck it under, and set it aside. I'm going to press 2 cloths full of pulp at one time. You get better pressure that way. And I'm going to point out that because I'm using a Whole Health Foundation premium juicer, I have a solid plate on the bottom, solid plate on the top, and for that reason you can leave the pressure up for a minute or longer, and that way you extract more nutrients. You have a lot of trace elements in your last 10% of your mix. So here we are, we'll continue folding. So I'm folding it as I tuck it under and set it aside. I'm going to press 2 cloths full of pulp at one time. You get better pressure that way. I was hoping to get 10 bottles, maybe we'll get more this time. I think we'll get maybe 12 this time. That would be great. I drink about 3 of these a day. I'm on a fasting program now. I've been fasting for 10 days. I'm planning to go 60 to 90 days. Now notice I'm not filling to the top. What I'm going to do is top it off with distilled water. You can use filtered water, but I have a water distiller, so I'm going to top it off with distilled water. I want to point out a washing technique. You always use cold water when you're cleaning your cloths. You don't want any hot water because you're going to be encouraging bacteria. And notice you always shut the water off between foldings. You don't want to be wasting water, and here in California we have a drought. Here's another thing people almost never do, and that's to clean the upper plate. And you can see it had remnants of juice on it. So we'll put the juice spray here. Now in this case there's no need to back it off, but we'll put the tray there, turn it on, press the water out. Press the water out. You don't need to wait as long as I did on this session. I'm just demonstrating that you can. So these cloths are going to go into a plastic bag and into the freezer. Now you can see that I got 12 bottles of juice, and what I'm going to do is top it off with distilled water. You can use filtered water like I said. Now you'll notice that some of my bottles have a little foam on, and what I do is I drink the foam off. If I had a commercial business, I wouldn't do that, of course, because first of all the health department would get on you. What you would do if you had commercial bottles is in a container you would fill your juice until it overflows and then cap it off. The whole idea is to not have any air in the bottle whatsoever, and it could last up to 10 days. Well, there's today's batch of juice. 12 juices, 3 a day. It's going to last me 4 days of fasting. If I was eating solid food, it would probably last me double that long. You want to drink at least 2 a day, more if you can. There you have today's juicing session, my friends. I hope you like what you've seen. I hope you learned a little. And if you did, please tell a friend. And if you'd like to contact me, my phone number is 760-753-0321. My email address is developtrust@cox.net, and my webpage is wholehealthfound.com. And if you're interested in one of my premium Whole Health Foundation juicers, give me a call. See you in the next video.